What's up, guys? Here in another episode of Eli and Mike, right here in beautiful city of Beverly Hills. Is it raining out there right now?
It's actually not right now.
It's not
it
right
has
now,
been
huh?
raining a lot.
It has.
But hey, we got Braden Blacker here with us today. Young entrepreneur in marketing. He's a genius in so many different platforms and social media, and he's creating a lot of people right now that are becoming amazingly big on all types of platforms. So thanks for being here with us, Braden.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Love it.
It's a nice break from work to get to come talk with you guys.
Thank you.
We've known each other for so long, so it's
yes.
nice to finally come on. It feels very meant to be.
Right, and you are always working, so it's kind of crazy seeing you sit here for a second.
Yeah. No, I think anytime you guys have seen me, I'm doing like 12 different things.
Yes.
all the time.
But I was up this morning. I usually wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. because I have clients in Dubai. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's just a bit of a grind. I feel like I've had like 2 days by the end of one.
Right, and again, I just have to remind the audience because you're saying you're getting up at 4 a.m. You're working with people in Dubai. How old are you again?
So I'm currently 18 years old.
Wow, this is so
So I
incredible.
started business when I was like 13 years old, 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
And then I became like what I still would consider, like I haven't found any verifiable evidence of anyone else, but
Okay.
the official youngest talent manager in the world by working at an official agency
Yes.
when I was 16 and 17. So
Wow.
that was when I officially started working in LA. And I got brought on by a guy named Zach Katz,
Okay.
who was formerly one of the heads of FaZe Clan, which was
Okay,
the
yes.
gaming group that IPO'd over $1 billion.
Right.
So I worked with him as one of the first talent managers there.
Powerful.
And then we worked as a crew to scale that up to over a few billion views a month across the roster.
Wow.
So where I started managing Asher.
And you're so humble, a few billion. That's incredible. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, it's you get a
So
little lost in the
incredible.
view
Right.
count, right? I mean, just with
Mhm.
Asher, obviously working with
Yes.
him, like he's done over 10 billion views in the time we've worked together.
Right.
So
Wow, that is
yeah, I
phenomenal.
mean, exciting stuff.
Oh my God, 10 billion. I think that's
That's
it's just so much you can't even like think. You're like, oh my
It's
God,
a lot.
1 million is a lot, but 10 billion for just one person is just incredible. But let's actually rewind a little bit. Let's stay on when you were 13 years old. That's when you said you started this type of work.
Yes.
Like what actually sparked your mind to say I'm gonna get into this, working with creators?
Yeah, so when I was 13 and 14, I was always just very inspired because my dad is a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
So he's had like multiple businesses. One of them, like his most known business, is called Bands in Town.
Okay.
And that's now like one of the music technology that like powers YouTube.
Amazing.
So he's
Oh,
been in
yes,
that space for a
okay.
long time. He was one of the first people working at like internet companies. So he was at AOL and InfoSeek.
No way.
I'm sure you guys had like an
Yes.
AOL
Yes,
email,
yes,
right?
right,
So
right,
he was
yes.
like one of the first 20 employees there.
Wow.
Working out of Silicon Valley. There's a point where my mom and dad, before they met, my mom was at Yahoo, building out she built out Yahoo Latin America.
No
so she's
way.
worked in like the Latin American market her whole career.
Wow.
So she built out like iHeartMedia Latin America. She
No
built
way.
out Fiesta Latina, which is one of the biggest like
gosh. Yeah, like the
music
biggest,
concerts
like, oh
for
my God.
Latin American demo. So they shared the same parking lot because my dad was at AOL, my mom was at Yahoo in Silicon Valley for a while.
No way. That is so special.
but
Is that where they met? They met like at some kind
They
of...
actually met through my uncle, which is so funny. So like my dad's brother, they met through because my dad, my uncle, and my mom are all in the same like space, which is media advertising,
Right.
Okay.
and that kind of world and technology.
Nice.
So they met through my uncle, but it was
Okay.
so funny because like that proximity was always so close.
Like the same
That's
parking
crazy.
lot. Like
Yeah,
how
yeah,
crazy
literally.
is that? So then, okay, so you're 13 years old. Did you grow up in Silicon Valley all your life?
I actually grew up in Long Island, New York.
Okay.
So that's
Oh,
like where
wow.
I've been born and raised.
Mhm.
My parents both work in media. New York's obviously such a huge hub for that. And my dad, I have videos. I'll send you guys a video of me. Like, I think I was 8 years old looking at a pitch deck my dad was doing
Yes.
for one of his businesses.
No
Yeah.
way.
And so, yeah, I mean, since birth, I feel like I've been like a Navy SEAL to do business.
Got
I
it.
feel this. I feel
And that
this.
was kind of like, I always just felt like a missile on course to like do
Wow.
business. And I always just, found so much more passion in trying to start businesses, whether it was like when I was younger, I tried making like a clothing company and like
Nice.
so many things that did not work at first, right?
mhm.
Because everyone starts with that kind of your failed
Right.
ventures.
Yes, yes.
But, my parents were always just super motivating to me about that. And I just took a very different path. Like I dropped out of high school, which is also a very different thing from coming
Like at
from,
what
like,
age? What age was
I
that?
dropped out of high school. My last year of schooling was being a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
So I
okay.
dropped out of public high school, which was like a very like breaking the social norms
Right,
thing.
yes,
I mean, I have
yes.
my mom's side of the family is very like Jewish traditional family. Like, I mean, there's there's more people that are doctors than there are that do anything else in my mom's side. So like everyone's
so school
a doctor.
is like everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be in a group chat. It's like doctor,
Oh my God.
doctor, and then like me.
And then you.
So it's good because there's doctors in like any state. If I'm in New York, there's like the doctors there. There's the doctors in Pennsylvania.
No
I have like
way.
a family member doctor that's in LA.
Right.
I just called him up last week. I was like, hey, like, is this like normal? So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
instead of
yeah.
ChatGPT, I have like my
Oh
doctor,
my
Dr.
God.
Joel, who's in LA.
Wow.
But for them, I think, you know, it came through my dad talking to my mom a lot and, you know, getting them to agree to me moving to LA. I came here at, you know, 15 and 16. I started coming back and forth a lot. And it was
But
just,
like how? Yeah, sorry. So like, okay, so you're in
Yeah.
New York. You're like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And obviously, New York being one of the business capitals of the world, like, wow, I can see where a lot of your energy and drive comes from now that you're telling us this, because I never knew you grew up in New York.
Yeah, I grew up in New York.
And so your parents are with you there in New York. Did they like come to California or like
yeah, so
what happened there?
Initially, what happened was I started my first business called Chosen, which I actually worked with Ryan Tang, who I know you guys had
yes,
on.
we just
Right.
had him on.
I was doing my own research.
Okay,
Going
right,
through the
right.
podcast, I was
Yeah.
it's like, what are they
Yes.
gonna ask me? What am I
Okay,
gonna say?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I made my own little document.
There you go.
But
Same.
yeah, so me and Ryan started a business called Chosen, where we were helping influencers essentially go from not having any music out to launching and having music. So
got it.
Okay.
our first two clients were Nevada, who you've also had on.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
And
right.
Elsa, you've also had on.
Oh my gosh,
So
they were your first clients.
Yeah, they were our first two
Wow.
clients. So Ryan was bringing in influencers, and then I had the whole infrastructure. So
Okay.
I made a joint venture. This was at like the age like 14, 15. Like,
No way.
and we were starting a joint venture where we had a music studio in New York City called The Practice, which they do the music for WWE, UFC, the whole TKO
Oh,
group,
wow.
as well as they made the Cup song for Pitch Perfect. So
Okay.
that was literally our
Wow.
business partner. So
Yeah.
me, Ryan,
No
and a
way.
guy named Ollie, who made Pitch Perfect, Alvin and the Chipmunks,
No way.
Night at the Museum, he has music in. He did my girlfriend's more into Disney than I am. But
Okay,
She's
okay.
done like the Disney.
Right.
He's done like Disney theme
Him
songs.
too. Him
Of
too.
course.
So yeah, I mean, just amazing partnership there. Started doing music for them
Okay.
through Nevada and working with them. I met Asher, and then started working with Asher.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, one thing led to another. Started working with Asher and really helping him scale his content, and just doing strategy and just helping him with whatever I could be helpful with.
Wow.
Started managing him, and then from there, just one by one, I started joining my first agency called Fixated.
Okay.
Joined there and helped them scale the creator roster. And then while working at Fixated, a lot of brands started coming to me and being like, hey, you're working with these creators. You've done X, said number. I think it was like 10 billion views at that point.
Right.
You've
Yes.
done all these views. You
Wow.
clearly know like something about social media, and you've also managed creators. And our two biggest issues are like, how do we work with creators? What is this creator thing, right? Like, how does a brand even work
Right.
with them? Secondarily, how do we do organic social media content, right? And how do we make our brand seem cool and work with creators in a cool way?
Right.
And I had been doing that on the creator side. So one of the brands was a company that I'm still working with called Galactic Markets.
Okay.
And that is how I've started working with Sports Illustrated Predict,
Okay.
as well as also working with Time Magazine.
Got it.
So now I'm the global head of content, talent, and growth at a company called Galactic Markets, where they have the rights for prediction markets.
This is so
Powerful.
amazing.
And-
I'm just, again, you being 18 years old, creating so much. I know you were talking about your parents, but like, okay, let's go before 13. Your parents are always been in this business, Yahoo, and the other one was
AOL.
AOL. So obviously they're in this tech world, business world. Your mom's creating worlds again, like the
Yeah.
Latin world. So would
100%.
you say like your inspiration, your drive, comes directly from your parents doing all this in the past, and you watching them, and you being in the room with your dad? Is this where all this drive is coming from? Because again, I'm sitting here in shock because of your age, but also the connections you have made with worldwide magazines like Time or Sports Illustrated Predict. Like, these are epic things, and you're only 18 years old. I mean, this is epic. So
Thank you.
does this inspiration come directly from your parents, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think having my parents that have just done like remarkable things in their career. My dad is such a builder, right?
Yes.
He now does investment banking, and they're working with some of the biggest companies in the world to raise money for them, as well as like selling companies.
Yes.
So I mean, just so motivated. Like, my mom, I'll see her wake up much earlier than me. My dad, I'll see him wake up
Wow.
much earlier than me, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm waking up at 5. You're waking up
Right,
at 4. I'm
right,
like,
like
I'm like,
what?
what's going on here? Like, you're on the
Wow.
second half of your life. Like, you should not be like
Okay.
waking
Yeah.
up this early.
Yeah.
Yes.
It almost feels like illegal when I call him up. He calls me up at like 5 a.m. I'm like, oh, how are you doing? I'm assuming he's gonna be like groggy. He's like, I've been up for 2 hours working. I'm
Wow.
like, what's going on here?
Yes, yes, yes.
But no, it's so motivational, right?
Yes,
I mean,
I feel it.
you know, my parents have done great things, and even, you know, at this point in their life, when they could have easily like decided they wanted to like take their foot off the gas or not do as much work or like grind at the level that a 20-year-old would, or like someone that's you know, in college would want to grind, or someone that's, you know, even in 30s 40s, they're still in that mentality. So that's very motivational. And even like this week, I'm going to be with my parents for a week, and just being around that energy. Like my whole family is like hustlers. Like everyone works so hard.
Are you only child?
I'm an only child.
Okay.
Yes. So that's also a lot of focus. So it's like I better not mess up. I'm also the last. I'm the last kid, like on both sides of the family. I'm the end of the bloodline.
Wow.
So
like you're like the youngest of the young.
I'm the youngest of the young, but I'm also the last one on both sides, so both family names. So on Sarachek, which is my mom's side, and then also Blacker, which is my dad's side, I'm the last like descendant.
So that means if you don't have any kids,
if I don't have any kids, it's over.
We're looking
so
at the
why.
audience. We're looking at the
kids?
audience.
Well, I'm 18.
Oh, I mean,
so like probably not
question.
in like the short term,
right?
But I mean, it's definitely like, you know, I have to make. You know, I am all the generations to come, so I need to make generational wealth. I'm kind of forced to.
Okay, true.
It's like I'm the lead point for all the generations.
That makes sense.
I actually love that.
So, it's definitely motivation.
Right. So you have to keep the bloodline going.
Yeah.
You have to. But actually, and then really quickly, what keeps you going? Because yes, you have the inspiration from your parents. You know, you have the background. You're in amazing places like New York or Silicon Valley. These are places where you can actually grow. You know, in technology or content creation or. But what is keeping you this driven? What is keeping you going? Because you also have to put in the work. You know, yes, it's amazing that you're inspired, but you're just putting in work. And as a young individual, most 18-year-olds are out there partying or just doing whatever, drinking, not even
drugs,
college.
You know, right, exactly.
My friends call me up, and you know, the most common call I get is because, you know, in this line of work or like with my agency, we get to work with a lot of big content creators. So my friends will call me up, and like a creator will come to their campus. They'll call me up drunk and be like, "Hey, like, what's something personal like I can say to that creator?" Like, it's always, you know, they're always out partying, doing this and whatever.
Exactly.
So I totally get that.
Yeah. So then, what is keeping you going? Is it?
I just think there's always more to do. Like I think it's almost like I look at business a little bit as a video game, and I feel like I'm still at there's so much more to achieve. I'm at such a low level still, even though it's like fantastic. Like, you know, we've hit, even in the last 6 months, we've had more growth than like maybe the last year and a half, right? Just because the amount of inbound off of having these bigger clients and these more like household recognizable names. But there's just so much more to do. Like I wake up every day excited. There's a lot of stuff even right now that like maybe by the time the podcast comes out, it'll be out, but we're working with global names. Like we're working with one of the biggest rappers in the world right now on a brand deal.
Are you allowed to say his name?
I mean, I'll say the amounts for something. But I'll just have to bleep out the rapper's name. But you guys ask me away. Like I'll I'll clip farm as hard as you guys want me to.
Okay. Can we clip this? But so who would it be?
I mean, so one deal we just did, bleep out the name is who's trending #1 on TikTok twice this week. So the whole week he was #1 on TikTok. It's just there's different levels, right? Like you start at a point where you're doing one-off brand deals, and then now to be at this point where we're cutting 6 or 7 figure brand deals. It's like, you know, there's just it motivates you to be like, hey, if I'm doing this right now and we're working with this rapper and that rapper and we're working with another female rapper that I'll say if we bleep, but just for your reaction, we're working on a really, really big
no way.
And she's massive, so we're working on we're working figure deal with her right now. So like when you start getting these brand deals where it's like millions of dollars, and it's just you're just like there's people that are doing this every single day, right? So you just get to that point, you're like, wow, there's so much more I can do, and we're at a point right now where it's like scaling the team. Like I'm getting fantastic partners, and I'm getting a lot more, you know, hands on the keys, getting more posters, etc. I mean, at this point, we have, you know, almost like maybe 30 different social accounts we need to be posting on every single day for just our social media marketing. So you need a lot of hands-on keys and like a great team. And I'd say like even the last month or so, we brought on so many fantastic just killers that are just amazing at what they do.
Right. So it's definitely not like before it was like a 1 or 2 man team.
100%.
And now, you know, let's just say 2-3 years later, you have like a whole.
It's an operation.
Right.
It's an operation. I mean, I look at it as, you know, what we do is a lot of people do social media marketing. Like it's a very, like, I'm sure like anyone who sees this, there's going to be people that do social media marketing or influencer marketing or one of those things. It's hard to do 2 things. It's hard to do it really well, right? And it's hard to, you know, find clients that you can maintain for a long time. Right. And I think the 2 reasons that happens is doing it really well requires having a massive team. And when you first start, it's like, how are you going to invest in a big team, right? So it takes kind of being in it, getting enough money from other places, whether it's influencer marketing, et cetera, to build out that team.
Right.
So now I feel like our offers refined to the point that if you work with us, like you're not working with me, you're working with a team. We have 5 people that are going to help grow your business,
God,
right?
That's amazing.
So it's just about that team. And it's not, you have to get to a point where you realize delegation is key, right? It's not going to just be me. I cannot respond to your comments. I cannot come up with every single idea,
Yes.
right? And I might, in a lot of cases, like for a client that's in a sector that is not like my cup of tea or like my bread and butter, I bring in, analysts and people that are specialists in that sector. And being able to do that, it's like for every single client, you're getting that bespoke experience and the ideas are tailored to you.
Wow.
So that's another big thing. Like our quality is really key, and not taking on more clients than we can handle is really a big thing for us. So we much rather have a few key clients, and if you look at our clients now, it's really global brands and like brands that you could tell your grandfather. Like I can tell my grandfather, I'm like, hey, we're working with Sports Illustrated Predict. He's like, oh my God, I know Sports Illustrated. But if I told him I'm working with like Fashion Nova, he probably wouldn't know what that is, or like a lot of like the massive TikTok brands.
Yes.
So I think it's about being selective and giving quality. Those are the two big things.
Right.
What's the next stage of things? Because obviously you already grew your team to 5. We'll say it's 5 people, but
It's definitely way past 5.
I know, but let's
We'll
assume
call
that-
5. Call
yeah,
5.
we'll just call it 5. So let's assume that. What is the next level of what you need to do for you to grow that team one more time?
Yeah, so I think with us right now, especially we're so invested. Like AI is a massive thing we're interested in, right? We're very invested in technology. At the end of the day, it's always a data play, right? A lot of agencies that work with these creators, it's very gate kept, right? They don't have a global centered kind of database. So we get to work with these massive global household names, and we get all that back end data. How do the videos do, right? Is the brand making their money back? What are the actual demographics? Like how many male versus female are seeing this post? How many views are the stories getting? So we have all that data. So a lot of it is just training large language models, right, and AI around that data. And I think that the next play is obviously going to be just getting stronger technology, continuing to build that out. And when you work with us as a client, you're going to get all that data and technology that we have that's like our proprietary data. Now, our point is not going to be to sell that data out to people as like a service or a model, but it'll just strengthen our service as, actual business where we can help other businesses.
You're working with worldwide names here. You're working with amazing creators who have again, billions of views, thanks to you, obviously. But you said you can't work with everybody because then it might you might not put as much work into that client because you have so many. So how would people be able to work with you? Because they're going to see this podcast and they're immediately going to be like, how do I work with him? How, if we were to want to work with you, what are the key things that you need to be as a creator or a company to be able to work with you at the amazing company you've built?
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing for us, I mean, it's always going to be the overlapping of these two pieces. It's what's your North Star? What do you want to achieve? Right? And then us just there being alignment on what it's going to take cost-wise to get there. Right? I mean, that's always just the two kind of overlapping factors. I think that, the third piece I'd say there is, having that connection, right? Flowing well together. I think personality is a big thing. I'm a big believer in liking who you work with. And everyone on my team loves everyone we work with. So that is a really key part. So that's always part one for me. It's before it's a no asshole business. Just no. I don't know if I can curse on this podcast.
Oh yeah, you can do whatever.
Don't block it anyways.
But for me at least, it's we're blessed enough to get to work with nice people, so we want to work with nice people. So that's a big thing. And then secondarily, it's just it's an investment. Everything's an investment. If you want to go buy a Lamborghini, it's going to be an investment. If you want to ride, in a Toyota, it's going to be a different level of investment. We do not the biggest thing I'll say is we do not have a cheap service. It is it is definitely we're an upscale business that prices at an enterprise level. Amazing. Where it's we're working with these global household brands where it's going to be more of a cost. But at the same time, I'd say there's occasionally times where if it's a startup or if it's a business we really believe in, we'll invest that time in. We do a lot of giving back kind of charity work where we will essentially do free work for businesses if it's a nonprofit or if it's an organization that we just want to help them scale or grow organically because we just truly believe in that mission. And for us, helping them and helping underserved communities is a lot more valuable than getting money from them. It's just not
So Galactus, is this your agency or is
Galactic? So Galactic Markets is the company that I'm the global head of content, talent, and growth for them, and we service them for social media marketing, influencer marketing. Under Galactic Markets, they have a company called Predictor, which has the licensing for Sports Illustrated Predict and Time Magazine to do their prediction markets. So we work with Time and Sports Illustrated Predict through that partnership. But my agency's called The Content Code.
The Content Code.
So easiest way to find us is thecontentcode.io or this
There you go.
And the biggest
Love
biggest
it.
thing I'd say is if you're not like an enterprise business, like just go on my Instagram or my TikTok. Like I just give a lot of free advice.
Okay, cool.
Because I know like 90 some odd % of businesses or like people we talk to, it's probably not from like an investment standpoint or just like what they need standpoint is probably might not align, right?
Yeah,
so
of
I just
course.
give a lot of free like sauce, like
Love that.
That's
what I'll
amazing.
call just my
Yeah.
free giveaways almost.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
So just stay tuned on there. Like if you want
Yes.
free advice that like, you know, it's obviously different than what an enterprise will want, but it's usually stuff more so like if a creator wants to scale or if like a small business wants to scale, I'll just give that free advice kind of away.
Love
I have,
that.
I have a question for you. So, knowing all this information about understanding analytics, understanding how to grow a creator, what holds you back from being a creator yourself?
So I think it's definitely like a time thing. I mean, I posted this month for fun and I got 2 million views organically.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Wow.
My dad just called me.
Oh,
Funny
hey,
enough. I'm
if
not,
you
I'm
need
not
an
gonna
answer,
pick
go
up.
for
But
it.
I'm not gonna pick up. But I don't know what he's
Shout
talking
out to Dad.
Shout out Dad. Shout out Andy
Dad.
Blacker.
Right there you go.
Phone a friend.
Hey, yes, yes.
But sorry, I've completely lost you.
No, it's okay. It's
Oh no,
okay.
what holds you back from being a creator?
What holds me back from being a creator? When I have the time and like I can focus into it, it does well. Like this month I did 2 million
Wow.
views. I was on a show called The Career Ladder.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that, but I went on this show. It's a ladder where he has like business people come on and he guesses what your job is in 2 minutes.
Okay.
It got like 40 million
Oh
views
my
across
gosh.
platforms of me just like sharing what my
Wow.
business does.
Wow.
I'm
So
gonna
that
watch
was like
this right
crazy.
after.
And I got hit up by
Wow.
like some of the biggest brands in the world in my DMs like,
way.
hey, we just saw this. Like, can you help with this, that, or whatever?
No
so
way.
crazy viral moment.
Wow.
Wow,
Um,
wow.
And if I post like, it's kind of like boring educational content.
Okay.
Or like one of my last posts that I think still has like 20,000 views. I'm interviewing like the head of a massive advertising group.
Yes.
So it's like very niche to marketing. It's kind of like if you know, you know.
Okay.
But I'm not
Right,
like on the
right.
streets making interview content or
Okay.
stuff like that. But not to say I might not.
Okay.
This would probably be something more. So like I like going on podcasts. I like speaking
Okay.
on panels, and that's like
Love
usually
it.
what my content
Oh, I
is.
see. I see.
Yes. When you're an expert in this industry, so a question of mine.
I try to be.
No, right. You are. You are. I mean, big names again like Sports Illustrated, Predict, and Time. I mean, these are crazy things that you're doing. But I want like because I know the audience is watching right now, and since you're an expert in this industry, I feel like what are your thoughts on somebody going viral? Like, does a normal person really have the chance to go viral? Is this
Yeah.
all? These people who are going viral, like Asher, Laura, or Nevada's or Elsa's, is it them watching analytics and working with people like you, or is it? I think that some people don't understand that you have to put in so much work, like working with somebody like you and putting in all that work. But I think people think that it's just like, oh, it's like they just became viral for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, do you really believe like it takes
It takes a lot of work.
Right.
I mean, first of all, it takes a ton of work, right? I mean, I always think about it as like you're a soccer player,
Okay.
right? Like think about Messi or Ronaldo, like whoever your
Yes.
favorite soccer player is.
Mhm.
How many shots at goal does it take to become perfect at a type of kick?
love that.
Right? How many shots at goal will it take? Now, I'm a believer that quality will always win in the long term,
Mhm.
right? Like, anytime I've worked with a client, whether it's Asher, it's a brand,
Yes,
we've
right.
always put out the best level of quality.
Of course.
Better, in my opinion, to what else is out there, right?
Mhm, mhm,
But I think it's shots at goal. Like with Asher's content, for example, with his YouTube channel, like it took us a while to find that niche that did really well for him.
Right.
And the horror niche just happened to take off, right?
Mhm.
The same amount of work was going into structuring the videos, coming up with ideas, locations,
Yes.
shooting it,
Money.
right? The work didn't, get greater or lessen.
Uh-huh.
It was just that we found the niche that worked by A/B testing, trialing a bunch of different concepts, consistently putting out great quality, and then we found the thing that worked. But I mean, usually it's it's going to be hundreds of videos, if not thousands, to
Right.
get that video that
course.
pops.
Yes.
But be authentic to yourself. Tell your story. Like your story is different than your story. Both of your stories together is different than mine.
Right.
So I think if you're
right.
authentic to yourself, you're gonna find your niche.
Mhm.
And what's even better than finding your niche is make your own niche.
Love that.
Wow.
Love that. So they have a chance to go viral. but-
Anyone has a chance to go viral.
Love
right?
that.
I have a friend right now, Capri, who I'm Capri's on, which I'm hopping on with later. And he has 8,000 followers. So like we'll play a game right now. He's 8,000 followers. How much do you think his last video's views got?
I mean,
I
if we
don't
didn't know
know.
him, I would say like a free 800 views.
It has like 300,000 views.
Oh,
And the one
amazing.
before that's like 5 million. The one before that's like
Wow.
3 million.
Oh my gosh.
So what he's doing is he doesn't have a following. No one knows who he is from like a
Uh-huh.
content follower status symbol perspective.
Right.
He just makes great quality. He's hilarious. He's an actor. He's really, really good at making content. I had him when I was managing a YouTuber named Kanel Joseph. We would do skits. Kanel is one of the biggest prank creators in the world.
Okay.
So we would do skits all the time in videos. We had him as an actor, like to do a skit with him.
Yeah.
And he was just so funny. And I literally told him that day, I said, "You have it." He's like, "What do you mean I have it?" At the time, he was just doing like modeling shoots and like he'd do like occasional like background acting, whatever. I was like, "Dude, you completely have it." And now he started doing skits and content. He's like blowing up.
Wow.
Powerful.
And he will be huge. Like
my gosh.
mark my words. But anyone
Yes,
can
yes,
do it.
yes.
Like he started at a few hundred followers recently, and now he's at 8,000. Like he's just exponentially growing.
And you said it was
Fantastic.
quality. That's
Quality,
really
yeah. I mean, he'll post very infrequently, but the posts are so strong, and they're just breaking through the noise.
And that brings
Wow.
up another question. So there's a lot of marketing agencies or a lot of people that consider themselves
I'll bring
the
up. This
experts.
sounds like we're getting into my doc.
Yeah,
Right,
probably.
yes,
So,
yes, it is,
and
it is.
I'm going to ask you. So, does it matter how many times? Because you just said quantity, quality, right?
Yeah.
Initially, when we started, we were told post 2 to 3 to 4 times a day,
Yeah.
but then I start realizing that quality starts kind of deteriorating.
Sure.
It doesn't look so strong versus someone that's posting maybe once or twice or 3 times a week. So I kind of want to know from you, like, what do you think works, or does it matter, or is
Yeah,
it-
so I'll talk from like the creator side of things. I'll go like my one part of my brand, and then I'll talk about like the
Perfect.
brand side of things.
Love it,
okay,
love it,
Let's
love
do
it.
so
it.
and there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from the creator side of things, when you first start, you want as much quantity as possible because
Okay.
it's like I am throwing post-its. Like imagine like the oldest thing of post-its that you just have in like your office. You grab it out of the
Right.
drawer.
Yes.
You're
Right.
throwing it at the wall.
Okay.
Most of them are not going to stick.
Right.
They're just not. You're
Yeah.
just throwing random stuff at the wall. Like
Yes.
hopefully this sticks. Okay, I
Right.
tried a skit.
Is
Okay,
it
I
'cause
tried an
you're-
educational video
Because
because you're brand new.
You're hoping for virality.
You're hoping for
Is that what it
views,
is?
just anyone
Okay.
to
Yeah,
notice
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay,
So
got
you're
it.
throwing
Right.
stuff at the wall. Like I'm gonna
Yes.
try a skit. I'm gonna try an interview.
Okay,
I'm gonna
got
try
it.
this content. You have to do as much as possible
Okay.
to start seeing like what the people, which is gonna be the For You page to start, right? Whether you're on like the Real Explore page or on the For You page, what is resonating with people for like
Okay.
your personality, your type of content.
Got it.
So it's as much quantity as you can get out to essentially like test this market
Got
of people,
it.
right? And then once you start seeing what lands, that's where I think quality comes into play.
Got it.
And it replicates to the brand side. So when a brand first starts, they have to try out so many different things to see what resonates with their audience.
Yes.
When we start
Okay.
working with a brand, they already have a community. So when we go in, it's usually thinking like, hey, let's take those post-its, let's try all these different types of posts, seeing what engages your community. And then once we figure out like those core series, we build out those kind of like 3 or 4 main types of content that we go through. This is a good segue. I'll explain my approach on brand socials.
Okay.
Please,
So,
let's do it.
so this is like someone else may have a similar thing, but this is like my personal approach and like my sauce if you're a brand owner of how I look
Let's
at
go.
social media marketing.
Love this,
Okay,
love
so I
this.
call it a 4-layer social for brands.
Okay.
Okay, so the first layer, which is like the core bottom layer, and this is more specific to like sports,
Okay.
just because I'll use that sports example because that's something
Okay.
I'm very relevant in,
Got it.
is the 4 layers. So first layer is going to be clipping, right? So that's going to be highlights of games, streamers reacting to games, or things that are relative to your niche, right? Same thing with skincare. It could be like clips of something crazy happening in the beauty world, whether it's like a beauty convention or like a new product drop from e.l.f. or like whatever it is, right?
Okay.
So that would be layer 1 of highlights and clips that are relevant to your niche, that are
Okay.
very, very top of funnel. Second layer would be bringing in UGC content. So now you have micro and UGC creators that are going to be making content about your brand, right? No
Okay.
matter what it is. So if you're sports betting, if you're a TikTok shop product, etc., you're going to build out that second layer, which is just quantity of creators
Wow.
that are like those guys with 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 followers that are going to make videos for, $50, a few $100 talking about your product,
Okay.
showing in the video, whether it's interview content, etc., going for quantity.
Got it.
Then the third layer, you're going to go into like your bigger splash campaigns. If we look at Sports Illustrated Predict, in June, we did a splash campaign where we had FaZe Clan, Marlon, Young
Amazing.
Gravy,
Wow.
Ty Dollar Sign, and
Oh my
Jesser.
God.
Jesser, who has like 30+ million followers for
Yes,
sports
right.
audience.
Yes,
And
yes,
with that
yes.
campaign, we did over 145 million views in a month for Sports Illustrated Predict on the campaign we launched.
Nice.
So that's the
Epic,
third
epic.
layer where we get big macro creators. Then the fourth layer is in-person production shoots, physical events, and real-life activations.
Wow.
So we can dive into that framework in any way, but that's like no matter what the brand is, I
Wow.
try to fill what are those 4 layers, box it out, and that's like if I was working with you as a client, that's how we'd start looking through things.
I love how you
Wow.
break it down because
Wow.
I feel like a lot of creators out there, because we're always surrounded by them, is you kind of just want to get viral and you forget the concept of where you're headed.
Yeah.
So I feel like that happens so common to most people. Even that's when we started, two years ago? We're
Yeah,
like,
about.
just do everything.
Yeah.
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 yes.
You
That's
know,
what
'cause
everyone does though.
Everybody
Right,
does,
right,
right?
right,
And then
yes.
eventually you get to a point where all right, now that I did everything, now that you're viral, now that you feel like you have a name known, where do you go from there? How do you build what you have that seems to be more focused now on what you actually expect to get? So, for an example, let's just say somebody wants to be a makeup artist or something, but they've been just doing a bunch of videos showing everybody else's makeup, or, but I mean, as an example, they would have to find a way to focus more on a certain type of brand or a certain type of thing, right? Because I noticed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, do brand companies like other brands on their videos? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I think it depends on the niche. Like, when it comes to, in this essence, it would be more so sports content, right?
Okay.
The clipping for brands could be clips of their events, clips of their activations, etc.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
just kind of like that more low lift content, and then it gets higher lift as you go up into the physical activations. But I
Okay.
think with creators, it's important to niche down, right?
Okay.
That's what I talk about when I say you start with the really high quantity and volume, and then you start slowing it down and moving into the quality space, and you start understanding, like, you get the data. Like, every time you post a video, you see the watch duration. Another thing in my notes is hyper focusing on the first 3 seconds.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys
Yes.
have heard this.
Of
Yes,
course.
yes,
This is not
We
like,
heard it at Meta, so we totally get
yeah,
it.
this
But
is not
tell
like,
us, tell us.
this is not groundbreaking information.
Yeah.
Instagram constantly puts out new features. Meta, of course, is putting out new features, but the first 3 seconds is so key, right? And
So
essentially,
important.
what that shows you is, in the first 3 seconds, is the video going to be a flop, or is it going to do well? And that's just your best stat of retention, essentially.
Okay.
So what we've built out now is we have databases of all this content that we've made for brands of those first 3 seconds, and we
Wow.
understand
That's
the data,
so cool.
right? So it's like, the person that's going to win in short form is whoever has the most data on what keeps the retention, which is the first 3 seconds, and can keep people to follow through to the end. But, like, if you look at some of the content on my page, like, you know, I over-obsess with these interviews. Like, I interviewed someone in the advertising space. Now, if you look across other pages that have similar following to me, it's going to get a few thousand views. It's a
Okay, yeah.
very, very micro niche thing.
Yeah.
But
Got
my
it.
video got 20,000 views. Why is that?
The first
Because
3
I
seconds?
hyper-analyzed on the first 3 seconds.
Right,
So
right,
I took
right.
something which is, like, in my mind, not an engaging piece of content.
And what was that? Can you just...
It was me interviewing one of my, you know, a close friend of mine, Don Lupo, who is
Okay.
he's the head of Think LA, which is the biggest
Oh, wow.
advertising
Yes.
group in Los Angeles,
Yes.
which, you know, I've spoken there, like, the top dogs in media
Right.
come there. Like, I just went to their event last week, and they had, like, the head of marketing for, like, Dr. Pepper was there.
Okay.
And
Wait, and you were the youngest speaker there, weren't you?
I was the youngest speaker ever at Think LA.
Oh my
So that's
gosh.
exciting. And
Ever,
also-
ever, actually.
Also, throw it up. We'll throw it
Wow.
up. In a week and a half, I'm going to be the youngest speaker at NYU.
All
Oh
right,
my
there you
gosh,
So we're
no
excited about that.
way.
That's amazing.
NYU, like
I
that's.
was on the call an hour and a half ago, so I'm speaking there at NYU. Which is
Wow.
really exciting at their marketing school.
And you just
Powerful.
found this out about an hour and a half ago?
Yeah, it's also
Wow.
like great because like
Wow.
I didn't get into college there, so I'm like,
Okay.
like, we're back. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
It's
yeah,
It's like you
okay.
couldn't kick me out twice.
Yeah,
you know what I
right,
mean?
no,
It's I was almost like, do I go? You know, I'm kidding.
Right, right.
Um,
You have to, you have
But
to.
no, I actually didn't apply. But we'll keep that
Mm,
clipping. 'Cause
yeah,
it sounds
okay.
better if I
Yeah, no,
act
for
like I
sure.
did.
There
For
you
sure,
go.
I only,
yeah.
guys, you know me. I only applied to LA schools.
You
I'm like, I
know.
don't
I
want to
get
be out
that,
in the
I get
cold.
that.
I was like 16 years of
shoot.
cold. I'm getting out
Oh,
of
shoot.
here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right,
Um,
right.
But no, it's crazy. Like going to schools that like I could tell you because I know the statistics at my high school I would not have gotten into.
Wow.
Mhm.
Right, and getting to go back there and speak.
Yes.
And these are not like undergrads. These are
Right.
MBA students that I'm speaking to. So I'm
Right.
speaking to like these guys are 24, 25,
Yes.
26. They've already gone to business school and marketing school.
Mhm.
They're now here for an MBA in marketing.
Wow.
So the
Wow.
course they just took is something that I'm like, I don't know if I would have passed that.
Wow.
But I get to come there and speak and explain like creators and social media and all that. So, and I'm following Marcelo and his dad.
Okay.
Marcelo is like the star from SNL.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Pop up
Yes.
a clip of Marcelo. You've seen
Right,
the,
we love
have you
it.
seen
Of
the
course.
Sabrina
Yes,
Carpenter?
yes, we've
I mean,
seen
who
it,
hasn't?
You
You
know.
saw when Sabrina Carpenter handcuffed him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
We
he's like
love
one of
him.
the most viral men on the internet.
Yes,
so I'm
yes,
like,
yes.
I'm like, oh, who am I following after? I'm assuming like someone that's like high at a company, or whatever. He's like, oh, Marcelo. I'm like, oh, I'm like,
Wow.
fuck, I'm not even going. I'm like, this is horrible.
Can I cancel?
Wait, okay, how are you with public speaking?
How am I
being-
with public speaking?
Yeah, and especially being the youngest ever at like these
Yeah.
events. I mean, you
I-
have to be thinking about
I
this.
think like the youngest ever, I think sounded a lot cooler to me than I think it does to like a lot of other people.
No, it sounds cool. It sounds
I
cool.
appreciate that. I appreciate
saying.
that. But no, I think a lot of things tend to be the youngest, and you can take it two ways. You can take it as like I'm gonna be really stressed out because I'm like the youngest person to do this. They're gonna expect I'm gonna mess up, or you can think of like, hey, the bar is so low because they're at NYU, they're an MBA student. right? They are like extremely like cream of the crop. Like they're some of the smartest people already in marketing. These people have work experience already, right? So they're coming back, a lot of them, to get their MBA. So they're already past like having worked.
Right.
And the bar is probably so low that I get to come and it's like whatever I do, it's it's gonna be a layup because they're gonna think that, hey, this kid's 18.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think don't take yourself too seriously, right? I come from like, I grew up doing like music. I was in a band when I was like 6. I was like doing like shows in New York to like hundreds of people. I've done like 20 theater shows in my town.
Wow.
So I'm very used to like speaking to a crowd and speaking to people. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just someone that really analyzes. Like even today, I made a whole document because for me, it's less so nerves of like being on the thing or doing the thing or talking to people.
Yes.
I just want to maximize how much value I can give people. It's the same way I am in business.
I get that.
I want those students to genuinely walk away and be like, wow, like I learned something today that's really going to help me with my career. Or like, this is a really new way to think about social media marketing.
Right.
So that's always my main goal.
And I know they're going to walk away with that. I mean, just sitting here in the few minutes that we've been doing this, you speaking about your letters is so amazing to hear that because, being social media creators as well, not the biggest, but we're trying to like really watch
you guys are
analytics.
It.
We're trying.
You guys are killing it.
Thank you.
I mean, look at the studio.
No,
like I see your content.
Thank you. We appreciate that. But just seeing the different mindset that you have of 4 different layers, like I don't think until today sitting with you, I would have never thought that there's all these layers that I have to go through. Even having a couple million followers, we're
and
not
that's more
thinking
brand
like that.
specific, I will say. So like for a creator, it obviously wouldn't make sense to like post highlights of the industry.
Yeah.
But
most creators have
100%.
like
most
a
creators
brand
have a brand or like a business,
exactly.
right? So I think that like if you look at any business, you can build it out through the 4 layers. I think as a creator, right, you should take the 4 layers, and the way I'd apply it to you guys would be, hey, what are the 4 different types of content I do? Or what are the 4 different things that people follow me for? Another thing I put in my doc, which I want to stress for you guys is whenever you make a piece of content before you post it, think to yourself, if I was watching this, why would I actually follow them? What's the differentiator?
Right.
There's so much stuff getting thrown at me.
good.
Like I
so
scroll
good.
on TikTok for 10 minutes, I watch like 100 videos.
Right.
I'm gonna follow maybe one of them.
Oh my God, you're right.
So like, what makes you guys different? Why am I following you guys? What is that little nugget that's like, oh my God, that was so good, I'm following Eli and Mike right now?
I love that.
Because that's always like, whenever I have a client, a creator, I'm doing a brand partnership. With brands, it's always, how do we get someone to like, comment, share, or engage? How do we make this ad so funny someone wants to share it to their friend, right? If I'm working with a sports brand, how do I make this meme so funny that you're like, oh my God, I got to send it to 5 of my friends? We go off a lot of that. When we work in the sports world with Chalkboard, who's one of our newer clients, we get a lot of shares because the memes that we make, sports memes, they get very, shared to the group chat. Everyone's saying it to their friends on their stories. And we measure success off of a lot of that. So we're always looking like, how do we make the most shareable, engageable, and likable content?
Where do you find that your knowledge came from? Did you go on YouTube and research all this material?
Being a nerd. Being a nerd. Honestly.
And where does that come from?
I think just so many repetitions, right? Like, if we go back to working with Asher and working with a lot of TikTokers, the amount of shots at goal, Asher posts, 3 to 5 times a day. Now times that by a month, now times that by a year, now times that by multiple years of me and him being in the trenches together, like trying to figure stuff out, like, is this working, is this not working, and then times that by having worked with multiple creators, and then now brands, which at a time have like, Sports Illustrated Predict or Galactic, like we'll be dealing with tens of creators, if not 50 plus creators at a time.
I get that.
Times multiple posts per creator, so many times a repetition, which I feel like I've been around the content block, in the sense of like I've just had so many reps with it.
So much reps, so much work that eventually it's gonna hit.
And just kind of like knowing what works or doesn't work, and always just listening to new people, right? There's always new guys in the space. I'm the first person on LinkedIn, if I see someone just like did something really cool with a brand, I hit them up. Like you can't have an ego. Like even if it's like a really small brand and I see they did something that really broke through the noise, I'll hit them and be like, hey, can I grab 15 minutes of your time and like learn about this thing you did and like how did this post do so well? And you just have to like share with people, like share your advice to others. They're gonna always want to help you, and just like I always try to help other people in this space.
It's amazing sitting here with you, going so deep. I like hearing how humble you are, how caring you are. Again, we've known each other for a while, but we don't really ever get to sit for hours and
That's
talk
why I
like
love
this.
podcasts.
This is amazing, right? We're going so deep. This is amazing. And this next question is also a little bit deep because, again, worldwide companies are hitting you up. Famous creators are hitting you up. Have you ever had to say no? And how do you say no to these big companies?
How do you say no? Yeah, I mean, I'll say like very honestly, I've done the not I wouldn't say a no. I like to call it a not right now.
Okay.
I like that.
And the
I
way
like that.
way you put things is I never close a door. I keep it ajar open.
Oh my God, so
Right?
good.
Yeah.
Holy
Right?
shoot.
So it's like you're never gonna close a door. I've never closed a door on someone because times I've done that, or because everyone has their time where they
Of
do
course,
that.
yeah.
Times I've done that's blown up in my face. You're like, oh my God, like I'm trying to get back in that room, like the door's now
Sure,
locked on me,
okay,
right?
yeah.
Very true.
So I think the key for me is it's never a no, and truly it's never a no. It's at this moment we don't have the bandwidth to handle your offering. Maybe they don't have enough money for a specific level of time investment they want from us.
Got it.
Then it comes down to, hey, at this point our offerings are just not in line with what you want for that rate. And that's a total fine thing. And they walk away, and I go, hey, here are 3 people that would be perfect for your rate.
Amazing.
And they'll go off, they'll be happy, we'll be happy. And when they excel, and they keep growing as a company, they'll be like, hey, we'd love to come back now and work with you. Same thing on the creator front, right? We've become super selective. We have an in-house talent roster, but it's extremely selective, and it's people that we genuinely believe consistently we're going to get them deals.
Wow.
But we have a lot of guys that are non-exclusive,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Where they're not depending on us for their next meal, but we'll
Nice.
bring them some cool offers.
Okay.
So we're super selective on that. And on the brand side, when we have to say not right now, it's a process. We really think through it. And anytime we can make it work, we make it work.
I love that.
That's our ethos.
So have you had a huge creator that you said no to?
100%.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
just cool. It's just because
Right.
it speaks so much volume with the
It
fact that
does.
you can tell somebody that's big that, hey, not right now,
Yeah.
because you accepted the fact that maybe either you're not ready or that person's not ready to create that connection, that relationship, at least not at that moment.
Yeah.
Because it's true, because a lot of people will burn that bridge.
I mean,
"Oh,
I'll do
I'm
another
good."
bleep.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
Please do.
okay. All right, bleep
Yeah.
this.
Everyone in this room is going to know the person, so we'll do like a
Okay.
friend DA.
Okay.
So I was
Friend DA.
I have a few different ones I could go to,
Oh
but
my God.
one of them, which we all know, is I was at Fixated, and I was absolutely slammed. This was like peak. I had Asher on board. We were doing so much. We were doing 2 YouTube videos a week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right? It was insane. His business was just like booming. Like
Mhm.
everyone was coming in. Joey was at the house.
Hey,
Um,
Joey.
Oh, shoot.
And it was when things just took a turn. Like it's now went from Model X to McLaren.
Okay,
Right?
yeah,
It's like, oh,
yeah.
shit. It's like
Okay.
it's like we
I
got
remember
sports
that.
cars now.
That's
It's
huge.
like
Going
it's
on
like
here.
that's a new thing.
Yes.
That was always we would always joke about that. Now it's we have sports cars in the house.
Multiple.
So that well now it's another
You know,
level of
right.
now we have crazy sports cars, Aventadors.
Yes.
We've seen
But
them.
I was at Fixated. Bandwidth was absolutely to the zero. For me, it's 2 or 3 clients max. I had Asher going. That was insane. I just signed Cannell, who at the time I helped him scale in a few months to being, a massive, even bigger
Right.
than he was, just
Oh my
helping
God.
support him with things.
Yes.
So Sophie Manassin
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to be managed by me, and this was when she was just kind of starting.
Right.
And then she asked multiple times, and it just did not line up. And it was not a hey, I can't work with you. It was more just
course.
at this time it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And then I saw that AdSense go to 150K a month. I was like, fuck, I should have done that. but it happens, you know what I mean? But I mean, I've had multiple times like that where
Yeah.
other creators just haven't lined up where they've grown, and some of them have tanked out. So it's just it's gonna happen in life.
I like that you're so humble about it, because I mean you're 18 and
It happens to everyone.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
know so many 18-year-olds that are not humble in their current position in mind, because most 18-year-olds are just I'm unstoppable, I'm gonna keep going, I don't care, I'm gonna definitely fall down and it's okay.
I'm definitely stoppable.
You know,
I'm kidding, I'm
but that's
kidding,
what
I'm
I'm
kidding.
saying. But you're humble about it. You're okay falling or you're okay stopping when you know that you can't take some.
Yeah. And speaking of, and actually
100%.
speaking of falling,
Yeah.
it's one of our main questions that we like to ask. Because a lot of what we're speaking about today has been about growth. It's
Right.
been
Yeah.
about winning. It's been about connecting to the right partners.
Sure.
These amazing, companies that you're working with. But one thing we always like to pull out of our guests, and if you could share this with us,
Yeah.
has there been a time that you were just broken down, beat up, and you were just I'm not gonna get out of bed anymore, I just can't do this anymore? You obviously did get out of bed. You're sitting here with us today, so you accomplished beating that. But was there a time in your life where you just couldn't do it?
Yeah, I think there's a few times I can pinpoint. I think that one really there's been a
sorry,
few.
1 second.
1 second, dude.
Was it Scarlett? Sorry.
Okay.
Just technology.
Sorry.
Let's blame Silicon Valley. Yeah, we can't have that playing in the background. Even though we are talking about sports in the straight for a
Right,
second.
Sorry.
You know how to do it with a computer, dude?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's right there. Oh, you got it?
It'll take a second there. Yeah.
And then expand it. Beverly Hills internet's not like what you think it is.
Look, I mean,
try.
I've been to a
We
lot of
try.
places where I thought their internet was gonna be better than I thought it would be.
Okay,
You
there you go.
think. Okay, there it is.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful. Guys,
Yeah,
we're
that's
back.
it. Right.
We're
Eli
back.
and Mike podcast.
Yes. And so yes, tell us. So like, was there a moment where you were beat up and you just couldn't get out of bed, but something?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were moments, right? I don't think there was one moment. I think that, you know, a big one for me was, I think everyone has that moment where it's like that jump out of the airplane moment, where
Yes.
it's like, oh my God, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? I'm like kind of looking out the plane and I'm
Right.
like, this is really much taller than I thought, right?
Right.
And that was for me, like leaving that comfort of like being at an agency and being the youngest talent manager. And you feel a lot of emotions. Like for me, that was my first like job, like big boy job, like being in a
Right.
business. And like,
Yes.
also there was something where I felt like, am I not the youngest talent man? Like, did I revoke that title by leaving? So leaving the first agency I was at was a big one. Just because it was this moment of me being like, should I do this? Should I not do this?
Got
There's
it.
a lot of emotions and pieces that flow through you. And when you leave there, you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm like starting a business at ground zero.
Wow.
And like, you can watch as many motivational videos as you want, but when you're
Right.
sitting in that, and you're
Yes.
sitting in that kind of slump for a second, being like, okay, it's like me. Like,
Yes.
it's just me. Like,
Yes.
Right.
how am I going to do this? How am I
Right.
going to get
Okay.
clients? Like, how am I
Right,
going to,
right.
like, you don't see where I'm at right now.
Okay.
You just see, like, where you were at. And you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make this happen?
And all that's gone
but
because
it-
you left.
Yeah, I mean, all of that, like, support, like, the
Right.
big names, the
Yes.
credibility, like, this creator, that other creator.
Being the
These
youngest.
brands,
Yeah.
and being the youngest.
Right,
so I
right.
think, you know, jumping out of the plane, that was my kind of, like, crazy ejection moment. But then, you know, God is good. Like, I believe, like, I was meant to do that. And, like, you know, a lot of opportunities started knocking on my door.
Okay, okay.
And just one at a time, prove value. And I'd say now that, like, if I was to go through my biggest accomplishments, I'd say one of the biggest ones of them would just be the fact that now companies come to me through referrals.
I get
And
that.
really big
Wow.
companies, because
Wow.
like, you know, when you start out, you're knocking on every door you can. You feel like a door-to-door salesperson.
Yes,
like,
yes.
do I email them, or should I do a LinkedIn outreach, or should I do a text message, or should I like ask my cousin that knows like this person at this company? It's like you'll do any, like, very scrappy and like trying to figure it out.
Right.
And now starting to get like referrals and really getting like these big clients through word of mouth and people that know like, hey, Braden did this one cool thing. Maybe he could help you do a cool thing, right? So I'd say that's a big one. And then also now just like having a great team that I can rely on, right? For me, and like I'm sure for you guys too, like it's hard to kind of pass that ball and be like, hey, is this person going to perform at the same level I do?
Right.
Because
Right.
I only know the
Yes.
way I perform.
That's
Behind
so
closed
true.
doors,
Right.
I don't know how anyone else is
Yes.
going to perform.
Correct.
Right.
And this is like my baby. So
Right.
it's like, hey, am I going to go give my baby to some random person I don't really know?
Exactly.
Right.
So it's taken a long time, but I've gotten those people that I can delegate to and I trust.
Nice.
And that I feel like got a lot, like that combination got me out of that slump.
Wow.
But I mean,
Wow.
it's always hard when you start, you know.
Yes,
That was
yes,
definitely
yes.
like a hard beaten down moment, I'd say.
Yes.
Like moving from like comfortability, which is like corporate, why
Yes.
people do corporate, and the rat race of
I get
corporate
that. I
is
get
like
that.
salary,
Yes.
paycheck. Every month I'm
You're
getting paid.
comfortable, yeah.
Every month I'm getting paid the same amount. I'm like, I'm out in LA.
And when
I have
you're the
enough to
best-
pay for my stuff.
Yeah.
I get the
I'm in a-
weekends off.
I get the-
Awards.
Okay, creator work, you never get the weekends
No,
off.
right,
I-
right.
we,
That doesn't
we
change.
learned that. We
doesn't
learned that.
change.
Yeah.
But I'd say like, you know, you go to bed at night and like you know you're gonna get paid on the 15th,
Yes,
right? So like
exactly.
that's where it's totally different.
Right.
And like, you know, I have a lot of people that depend on me.
Yes.
Yes.
Like when I go to bed at night,
Yes.
I'm like, I hope my clients keep me.
Right.
And you know, more than I hope, I'm like my employees
Yes.
really hope,
No,
right?
yeah.
Because this is like their livelihood.
I agree.
And for a lot of these guys, like they're investing so much time in like mental capital, like
Yeah.
with creativity and being in the business we're in, it's mental capital. It's like,
Oh my God,
you know,
yeah.
they're taking their best ideas and investing them into my business at the end of the day and my
Right.
clients. So we just have such a tight knit team, and like it would not be possible. And I think I would be in a worse spot, and I would be in a bad mental state if I had to deal with all the stuff that happens on a daily basis.
I get
There's
that.
just a lot of delegation now. I could
Wow.
not have the clients I have now without the team I have in place.
All right.
Right,
Have you considered maybe in the future? We're gonna. Well, time's flying so fast. Have you considered in the future that you
I didn't
would
even see the
actually
clock.
have?
This
Oh
is
no,
cool.
we're
Yeah.
good. We're good.
Have you considered in the future that you would expand your reach to have many more creators? Maybe have 100 to 200 creators, or just niche?
Yeah, so I think of like a lot of things that I find really interesting. And I'll tell you like categorically like what I'm interested in terms of like what we're gonna go into. Now I say go into in the phrase of like it'll probably be at some point in 2026. But these are things that we've started implementing or like micro testing that will go into deeper.
Okay.
So one piece of that is going to be into media buying. So doing more on the paid ad side.
Got it.
We have, just through the nature of the brands we work with, connections at all the platforms, right? I mean, obviously, I'm able to help creators. You guys go to VidCon, go to these dope events, Rolling Loud, whatever it is, through these connections of having big creators.
Right.
So we're going to go into media buying. What that means is we have the full funnel. So currently, we've done the organic creative. We make the content that brands put in their ads.
Got it.
We currently do that.
Okay.
We are now going to also be able to run those ads and spend that ad money.
Wow.
So we're going to be moving into that. That's one massive
Powerful.
territory.
That's massive,
A secondary
massive.
territory is going to essentially be going through more of a UGC micro creator route, where we have tons of creators in a UGC network that we can turn on at the flick of a button for brands.
Wow.
So that is a
Incredible.
secondary market that we're interested
That's
in.
incredible.
For me, I think that the use of massive creators is going to be more one-off, and I think that micro and smaller creators is going to be the biggest trend going to 2026. We're already seeing it happen with TikTok Shop.
Right.
The highest volume of sales and conversion is coming through micro and UGC creators.
Yes.
So in our mind, it's how do we use the influx of AI, all the data we have, micro creators, and make just a one-stop shop solution for all brands. So that's like the two categories we're really interested in. And then at the other side, it's like a lot of startups and AI companies are starting to come to us to like use our data. And I'm sure like down the line, I could see stuff where we do more partnerships. Like we're starting to talk with a lot of big music labels and helping artists. I think we're expanding a lot more into the celebrity, like mainstream A-list actor, A-list artist realm. As I mentioned, like the two biggest deals we've done in the last few months is with massive rappers. So like we're starting to like, whether it's like the biggest music companies in the world, like we're going to their office, having meetings weekly or bi-weekly, figuring out how their artists can get into the streaming space or the content space, how we can get brand deals for them. So a lot of those type of things is what we're focused on.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's amazing.
Partnerships seem to be everything to you, and one part,
Everything.
right? And for us, it's everything. Even working together, we do
course.
everything together, from Eli and Mike Live podcast, our creator world, real estate loans, everything.
Releasing an apparel launch.
Apparel,
Yeah.
but
A
it's
lot of
always
things.
If I better get some clothes.
you
Oh,
know
you will.
actually.
Next time I come on the podcast, I'm going to wear that full outfit.
Hey, honestly, we're gonna have a
Do you
part
have
two.
any hats?
And,
We could give her one.
No, yeah, I think we were.
We're supposed to have.
But
Okay.
but speaking of partners, for us it's everything. How is it working? Your world where you're basically working 24/7 and you are in a relationship. Like, how is there a certain relationship you have to be in to make this all work? Because for us, we have to understand
100%.
that it's 24/7 work, and if I have to leave at a moment's notice, it's we have to understand each other.
This is a great question, but as long as you guys are fine with it, I'm fine with it. It's going to be your longest podcast.
Oh, no, please,
Because
stop,
I looked at the
stop.
YouTube channel, and my one goal for today was I was like, we're going to have the longest podcast.
I love it.
That was my goal. That was literally my
do it.
goal.
Let's
I
go
looked at it.
over
I
an
think it was
hour.
like an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, let's
So we
go.
need an hour. Joe, I'm not. You're staying, brother.
Right.
You're sitting right in that seat.
I'm glad I asked this. Then
We're
Is
going to-
equipment's good?
No,
It'll
yeah,
last?
We're
Okay.
going an
So,
hour and 16.
We're going.
Because this is like relationships, like
Yes.
another thing in business. A
It's
lot of
so
creators
important.
hit me up, and we'll go in tangent, but
Love this.
creators will hit me up more so for life advice than for brand deal advice.
Okay.
Like, I feel like in a lot of ways I'm just like that advisor to things, right? Whether it's like, Asher, like a lot of my creator friends will be like, hey, partners in life, like this in life, like where to put my money and invest in life. Like that's where it also comes into.
Right.
So with me, my beautiful partners over there,
Yes.
Arlena,
Shout out.
shout
Arlena.
out, big shout
Shout
out.
out. We
Wait,
love you.
are you a creator, Alina?
She does.
We love you,
content.
Arlena.
She does
We love
content.
you.
Okay, you do content.
Right.
Okay.
right. We're
but-
collabing soon. We're collabing.
She's my like rock.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
without Arlena, I wouldn't have anything.
Got it.
Like
Right,
literally,
right, right.
and
No, feel you.
I know you guys are the same way.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
we are.
I am like from everything from making sure I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, which is a task because neither of you would want to wake me up at 4 in the morning.
Okay.
To like making like the healthiest meals to like keep my brain going
Yes.
from 4 a.m. to 2 a.m. Right?
Right.
I mean, my hours are just like out of this world. Like they
Yeah.
are not like humanly normal.
Yes.
Yes,
A
yes.
9 to 5 would be much more like schedulally regular.
Yeah.
So the most supportive. I mean, like from like
Right.
protein shakes, like
Yes.
cooking the best meals to making the apartment. Like
Right.
if you guys have to come over first of all.
Oh my
when you
God,
come in our
soon,
apartment,
very
it looks
soon.
like Architectural Digest.
Oh
'cause of
my
our lead.
God.
Like we have like.
I love
mean,
this.
my credit card bill definitely shows it.
Right,
But it's
right,
like
right.
the most beautiful couch you've ever seen,
Yes,
and then we
yeah.
have like the coolest speaker system with like 5 JBL speakers,
Oh
and
my
like
God, I
everything
can't
is
wait to
very
see.
bespoke.
I get that.
I read the TV name that she got, and it was like the Samsung EQS like AI something, and I was like,
Right.
if my TV has the word AI in it, like we got the right TV.
Oh, yeah.
that's
Definitely.
pretty
And I was like,
new.
our TV is like as thin as a piece of paper. So she is like the GOAT. Like when it
Yes.
comes to like design,
Love
no
it.
one better.
I love that.
When it comes to like cooking and keeping me accountable,
Yes.
I think like a good partner keeps you on your shit.
Absolutely.
And on your toes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's why I
it's
say
like
yeah.
it's like hey,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
hey, I'm happy you just closed this 7-figure deal or this 6-figure deal,
Yeah.
but did you go to the gym today?
Right.
It's like I didn't see you getting your
We
macros
do this
today.
all day.
Right? I didn't
all
see
day.
I didn't see
all
you eating your
day.
protein.
Yeah.
It's
know?
great you're doing all this work, but like
Right.
why didn't you drink your protein
Yes.
shake?
We'll even be mad at each other, and I'll still bring him his protein eggs and protein shake, and I'm just like, just eat it.
Oh
like,
no,
the sauna?
I've gotten told off, and then it's like a beautiful platter of
Right,
like,
that's me,
eggs
that's
and
me.
rice and chicken and like a
Yes.
protein shake, and she's like I'm really upset, but here's your breakfast with like the
Yes,
perfect
yes.
macros.
Okay,
She's
okay.
like I'm really upset, but did you brush your teeth and do this? And
Right,
did you do your
right,
skin
right,
routine?
right.
It's like before I had a girlfriend. There was not this level of a skin routine.
Of course.
Right? Or health
Right.
acumen.
It was
What
just
I
water.
thought, well, just so you guys know, what I thought a morning routine was is not a morning routine.
Okay,
My
yeah.
morning routine now is like 25 bullet items on it. It used to be like brush my teeth and maybe splash a little water.
Right.
Now I'm like, I went to I don't know if you guys know Albion Garden in Venice, but
we
it's
need to
just like
step up our game. We need to step up
okay,
our
so
game.
go to Albion Garden. They have a lot of events there. TikTok hosts events there. I've been to 2.
Oh,
Literally
I think
just
we
this,
have. I think we have.
yeah, TikTok has a lot of events there. Tara, who's fantastic. I just met her this week. She's the global head of the agency for TikTok.
Okay. Oh
So
my
media
gosh.
buying, and she does like the events. I'll invite you guys to the next
my
event.
God,
I know the
that'd be
next question was
amazing.
have me to the event. I got you. Don't worry.
Right. You know,
I'm the number
took
one
it right
event-
out of me.
I'm the partier. I bring all the people to the event, like group
Yes.
people.
Right.
But so I went there and they have a porosity test where they like check the pores on your face, see like the liquid, and I would not even want to know what it was before Arlena, but I went there and out of everyone there, they said I had the best like level of skin moisture.
No way.
Wow.
So I was like, I
Shout-
didn't even know what skin moisture was a year ago. So I'm like, this is a step.
We need to
forward.
go. I need to
Yeah,
know what
that's
my
Everyone
skin
needs an
moisture-
Arlena in their life.
There
That's
you
like
go,
my
right?
biggest takeaway.
Can you be in
And-
Arlena?
I mean, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be.
So I guess like the moisture on my skin is perfect. So
Yeah, there you go.
cameras, take a look.
There you go. And again, I had to ask this question because mental clarity, when you're
Yeah.
doing all of this work without the right partner, it's just almost like you can't do it. You
It
literally
doesn't
can't.
work with the wrong partner either, right? So
Okay.
it's like with the right partner, you can make it happen. The wrong partner could take a lot of things away. I've seen so
course.
many times in business, my business partners or creators, their partners, right? You have the wrong partner, and it's like a thing of Jenga. They
Yes.
just start pulling out one brick at a time, whether it's like a dig at you,
Yes.
whether it's like them not spending time with you, whether it's them like bringing you down mentally or emotionally, right?
Right,
And it's
right.
literally like Jenga. And at a certain point, the whole thing crumbles,
Correct.
right?
Yes,
Whereas
yes.
like with Arlena and having like a great partner, they're like adding those pieces
Yes,
back on top.
right.
They're like, hey, you're a little
Right.
you're a little under the weather. Let me like add that little bit in, or like,
Exactly.
hey, you need like to be a little more taken care of. Let me like make you
Yes.
tea or like do something
Yes.
for you. So,
So
I'm a
important.
huge believer. You need the right partner,
Correct.
and like
Agree.
also get
Agree.
out of it if you're with the wrong partner.
Oh, agree
That's
as
like
well.
another conversation. People
That's
call me up
huge,
like,
guys.
hey,
That's
like,
huge.
hey, my partner has like one good thing about them and like 500 things not good about them. Should
Yeah.
I still be with them? And the best answer is like no.
Right,
Like
right,
you probably
right.
should not be with them.
They
No, I
usually
agree.
stay, but just say. Just
Yeah, they
say-
usually tend to stay.
Just say.
Shout out.
Right.
You know.
You know exactly.
You know.
Right, exactly.
Wow,
But yeah, I
amazing.
mean, just like any business decision, make a pros and cons list and like look at like, hey, these things are great, these things aren't great. If I'm bringing on a business partner, I spend so much time like, hey, I'll literally ask them, what are your flaws? If we get in a fight or an argument, like what's going to be the biggest issue we come to? Like,
Yes.
what are the non-negotiables? We're not going to bring this up in a business argument.
Right.
Same thing with a partner.
Yes,
like,
yes,
hey, I'm
very
only,
true.
keep out family, right?
Right.
Or like let's like no matter how deep or like stabby the fight gets or like hurtful,
Yeah.
it's like we keep out these things, right?
Love it. So
If-
did you guys like have these conversations before?
100%. And
Because
it's an active thing. It's
Right.
an active thing. You're not gonna have that perfect answer always, but like I'm just as you guys have, like it's ever evolving. Like you're
Correct.
gonna have those moments where it's like, hey, you said that in the fight, like that went a little further than just like throwing
Right.
jabs.
Yeah.
And also like there's like I call it like work hours. Like, hey, if I'm working, let's leave like this or this discussion
good.
at the door and like let's pick it up back after my call.
That's
Agreed.
great
100%.
advice. That's
Yeah,
great
100%,
advice. Like honestly,
I recommend
all
that
this-
for everyone.
Honestly,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of this is like such good. It's working for me
It's
right
working
now. I'm
for
like,
me.
okay,
You better
this
come
could-
back and be like, hey,
Yeah.
okay.
Right. Our relationship
Our
will be
relationship's
10 times
10 times
better.
better after this.
Exactly.
We're gonna have
exactly.
Braden. We're gonna have Braden come back
Right.
on.
And
Just check
again-
if I have Braden the therapist.
I know, right?
And these things are so important. You're sharing so many gold nuggets because again, we also deal with in industries where we have to go into a meeting and it's somebody huge, like let's say Sports Illustrated. I'm sorry, what is it again?
Sports Illustrated predict. You're
Sports
good.
Illustrated.
We'll
predict.
bleep. We'll have an
Yeah.
AI voiceover go
Right,
predict.
there you
Yeah,
go.
you said
Okay.
it.
And so we deal with people like Sports Illustrated Predict and whatnot. These things happen. But if you're in a relationship and, you know, maybe you're having like a fight before, and like, how do you walk into these places with this type of energy?
Yeah.
But again, we're just like you. We have to have conversations that we're serious. Like, hey, we have to make sure if there ever is something like that, you can't walk into these places like that, because that's work. That's what's bringing, you know, your money in. So you can't be fighting like that. And
another thing I'll add on to that is, so we talk like personal, let's talk business.
Right.
Business relationships, how do you deal with someone being a little rude to you, right? Or how do you deal with like getting a comment or like a critique that you don't like?
Yes.
And the frame you have to switch to is, so people start with like an egotistical one, like selfish. Like, they're wrong, why would they say this? Like, I'm right, I did the best work, whatever. The frame is usually like, how could they have been nicer to me? That's people's starting mental frame. I have literally reverse engineered my brain to think, how could I have done better, and what caused them to feel like this? So no matter what it is never, I did so good, like, woe is me, my work is great. It's always like, hey, that thing actually could have been better. Like, let me tweak this for next week. How can I actually build out a better social recap? Or like, you know, this influencer actually maybe didn't meet every single one of the 40 expectations. Even if it's the most outrageous thing, like they have 800 expectations and you don't meet one of them. It's like, hey, this is what I could have tweaked to meet that one.
I
like that. Yeah, that's great.
Such a powerful mindset.
Doesn't matter what business you do. Like, that's just business in general, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Client's always right.
Right. You just have to look at yourself sometimes. I mean, there was something that happened yesterday, and it was a very rare situation, right? And I'm gonna like say it was a rare situation. We lost one of our videos, you know, that was like super important, like a reel where we had a guest come out.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, but you know, I barely found out yesterday that happened. But the first thing immediately that went through my mind was like, okay, what could I have done better? What did I not do with my like personal assistant? What did I not schedule? Did I not write? Like, I didn't even go to the like what had occurred. Like, I went to myself first. 100%. And I think that's what people forget to do, is that sometimes you have to like go to yourself and be like, wait, how did you make a mistake? How did you mess up? And then you can go and fix the problem.
Another thing I deal with, like, in these situations, just as like you scale a team talking about
it was
talking about
I had
growth.
to talk about myself.
Well, that's, first of all, it's a great example, and that happens a lot, and it happens a lot in a business where we have like at times like thousands of videos a month that we're like moving through drives. Like, every day for a singular client, we might have 10 to 20 videos per day. Like, times that by a week, that's like hundreds. Times by a month,
because you guys are
thousands.
posting them too.
Yes.
We're posting and we're making them.
Yeah.
Like, we're the editors, we're the creators. We're, in most cases, we're doing soup to nuts. Like, an idea to making the post, whether it's a graphic or a video, then posting the post, then putting a recap together, the analytics. So things like slip through the cracks sometimes, right?
Exactly.
And another really big thing is like, you have to always motivate people and lift them up, not push them down. Right? So like, I can't call up my poster and be like, hey, you know, you messed this thing up. Like, you did so bad. Like, you're fired. Like, this, that, whatever. You gotta be like, hey, how can I help you be better supported? Like, do we need to bring in another?
Right.
Oops, oh my God, I cooked
sorry.
Go fix it.
It happens. My bad.
Bad. Perfecto.
Thank you.
Thank you, King Joe.
Right.
He's Chips Ahoy today.
He's Chips Ahoy. Okay. But no, the biggest thing is you have to go through those proper channels.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like, you know, the same way you guys have your system where Scarlett would go to the poster or the editor or the thing.
Right.
I can't go to the poster and be like, hey, you messed this thing up. You want to give them the firepower and build up that communication where you're, you know, assistant or person that's handling that. There's a hierarchy to it.
Exactly.
So I should not be calling the poster because that's too demoralizing. You get like the owner to go call you. So you build up those channels where you lift them up and you're like, hey, what should we change about the process to make it easier for you?
Right.
Like, what did we mess up? Like, because in most cases, like, people are not maliciously not posting the right thing. They're not maliciously deleting your video. So it's like, it's probably like, hey, I updated my phone and the video went. Or like, I went to the wrong drive and it was actually over here in Dropbox, but it was supposed to be in Drive, whatever. And it's just that's probably what happened or something like that. I'm looking at your eyes and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. They deleted the folder or something. But it happens all the time.
And when it's so rare when it does. Like, it was so,
and also like, the cooler you are when a bad thing happens, the cooler and just the more work they're going to do for you. You were real like my employees. I like to say like partners, no matter what they do. My partners.
Yes, I love that.
You know, I don't like the word employees like working for me.
Same.
My partners.
Yes.
You know, they work so hard.
Right.
And they always go above and beyond. If I ask them for 3 clips, they always make 4.
I
Right.
love that.
So with that mentality, the reason they do that is because if they make like a mess up or if like something doesn't come out perfectly, it's just a discussion of like, hey, you probably were not supported enough to do this. Right. I'll go through the docs just to make sure there's nothing. There's no other golden nuggets.
I love that.
I love gold nuggets. Yeah, we used to run a real estate office in the Inland Empire. We used to have probably about 50 employees.
Oh my God.
So our motivation with them was always positive criticism.
Yeah.
So no matter how much they would make mistakes, or because it's real estate, we're talking
Yeah.
about money. You know, you talk
Big
about somebody,
money.
yeah,
Yes.
somebody buying a $5 million property and they send the wrong. Because as simple as saying you're going to live in the property and you send the paper saying I'm not going to live in the property, a bank can be like, did you just lie to us? Because you're saying you're going to live in it. Therefore, instead of coming in with your $100,000 down, you're supposed to come in with $500,000, and the deal dies right there because you can't unsee something an underwriter sees. It's kind of like sending your ID that you're a California resident,
Yeah.
but your ID actually comes in from Washington.
Crazy.
So we have to be patient and be like, hey, how can we help make sure that this doesn't happen? Because
Definitely
that
patient.
literally kills a dream for a buyer.
Definitely.
Like you just lost your deposit for $100,000 and it's my fault.
Yeah.
So it's definitely understanding how to be more positive in bad situations. Because you're right, I can imagine demoralizing somebody and making them feel so little
Yeah.
and destroying, like you just killed somebody's dream instead of
course.
being like, hey, something bad happened, let's figure out a way to fix it.
Also, another nugget I'd say, like from a business standpoint,
yes.
is always show people the route to growth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anytime you bring on someone to your team, if you tell them, hey, you're a poster, 5 years from now, you're going to be a poster, odds are they're going to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
'Cause
Right.
they're like,
right.
hey, if I leave today or if I leave in
Yes.
4 years, I'm still a poster.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That
Right,
kind of
right.
sucks. Like,
Uh-huh.
there's not a lot of
It does.
trajectory and growth
Right.
there.
There's no growth. Yeah.
Whereas the day one, if I like someone, I'll be like, hey, you're a poster right now. In 6 months, everything goes well. You keep doing the hard work you're doing.
Love that.
You're now a social media manager. You're
Wow.
running an account. You're
Wow.
overseeing the account. You're overseeing the posters.
Mhm.
Now, on top of that, you're then going to be a manager that's overseeing multiple accounts.
Of
now,
course.
Yes.
Right? So we show them the growth from day one. We also show them the scaling of like, hey, you're making, $2. You could be making $4 in a year if you just do X, Y, and Z well.
Love
Right.
that.
And the motivation just triples.
Right.
Right? Because they're
Powerful.
like, hey, I'm making $1. I could be making $2 by the end of the year. Like, I'm going to do every single thing
Uh-huh.
to double my pay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
who wouldn't want to double their pay
Right,
in a
Of
year?
course.
right.
Of course.
No, these are powerful things.
Yeah.
Again, it's so hard. We have and it's even hard for me to say it because she kind of has me say it all the time. But she's my partner, but she's like, oh, but call me your personal assistant. And I'm just like struggling to do that because to me, like Scarlett is
Scarlett's
like,
the GOAT.
she's
Shout out
Scarlett. Shout out to Scarlett.
Hey,
And it's like,
Scarlies.
for me, every time I introduce her, I'm like, she's my partner because we're like on an equal playing field here. You know what I
100%.
mean? And it's just like, so that's the way I look at like people that we work with. And I think that's powerful that you do the same. And your mindset being 18 years old, again, having this business mindset is so powerful. There's things that I learned 2 or 3 years ago in the business world that you're already implementing today at your age. It's incredible to hear. And I want to hear, actually, this is one of our questions we ask as well. What does your next 5 years look like?
What's
You're
your
only
plan?
18. You've done so
And I
much
know you have a
already.
plan. It's not just you're
Yeah, we wanna
driving
know
in
the
the
plan.
dark.
We want to know the 5
Or
year
or are you driving in the
No,
dark?
I'm not
I doubt
driving in
that.
the dark.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Let's get to talk.
Okay, let's
Yes.
go.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, the content code where we are at right now is in a very good, what I'd call trajectory to keep increasing the size of deals and the quantity of deals that we continue to do.
Okay.
More than ever, we now have brands coming to us and looking at us as a partner and as an exclusive, almost like a manager, literally a manager, social media manager, and influencer manager. So we've now gotten to that point. So we're going to continue scaling that operation. As we scale that, the AI and the tech, as I said, is going to grow. So the next few years, it's going to be continuing to grow the database of clients and continuing to grow that AI and that technology.
I get that.
What that does is, wink, wink, put us in a very strong position that we're going to have some of the strongest data for brands and creators intersecting in the world.
Wow.
And as that evolves, there's going to be a lot of companies that could potentially be interested in acquiring that type of data.
Makes sense.
Secondarily to that, we continue to keep getting equity in a lot of very large businesses. Now, I can't state exactly what the businesses are because we're under NDA with a lot of them.
Got it.
But as we continue to work with bigger and bigger brands, we're not only getting paid cash, but we're also getting paid equity. So the goal here is that we're growing a portfolio of obviously clients, monthly recurring revenue, and exclusivity with clients, which if you look at, the way EBITDA is calculated to value a business, if you have exclusivity with the client, it's a lot higher, right? If you have monthly recurring revenue, it's a lot higher. Now, if you add that data piece in, you're now sitting at a 15 to 20x on your revenue.
Right.
So literally just by adding tech and AI, which are buzzwords, but they're really not the way we look at it, because I have a full 10-person team just working on our tech.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
The way we look at that, now that's a 20x, so we're going to continue growing the revenue, growing the pipeline of clients, growing that AI and tech, and just position us to be in the best position possible. There's two routes. One is we keep using it as, just a cash machine that keeps generating more and more revenue. And secondarily, it could be something that someone might want to buy the tech down the road.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically exit.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an exit within the next few years. I think that, what we're continuing to do is get bigger and bigger clients, get better and better data, growing obviously our talent roster as well, growing exclusivity, and just creating the best, essentially piece of data in the creator space.
Do you feel like you're in a position right now where you feel like there's a value to your business?
I was actually thinking this too. How would people, or will people be able to buy into your business, your company or creator?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a value to my business. Like, I think it gets calculated differently depending on different things. Like, I mean, you guys can ask me anything. I don't care. I'll talk numbers. I don't care. Like, right now, if we're to think about it, like my business does 7 figures in revenue, okay? So my business does 7 figures. Now, if you calculate that with the fact that we have the AI proprietary tech, you can easily argue that it's a 10 to 20x multiple. So that already puts it as something that's an 8-figure business.
Right.
So if we were to sell today, it would already be valued at 8 figures. Now, the thing that could take us into something to being high 8 figures, or even like, $100 million plus business, is going to be to continue scaling, continue getting the exclusivity, continue growing that monthly recurring revenue, and just growing that AI tech, because AI is obviously the most kind of valuable thing right now. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a value right now. There continues to be a value as we keep growing that, monthly recurring revenue. That's going to keep growing that value. But yeah, I think just like any other business, there's definitely a value, and with the technology we have, especially, it creates a lot of value for VCs and businesses, and we definitely have been offered by people to invest and like engage with us in that type of sense. And we just don't need the cash. Like we're very very profitable business.
Is the tech you're using self-engineered, or you're using a certain software?
We're all it's in-house, so it's all proprietary tech. So only our clients will get the technology.
Powerful.
And like, the tech's not, like I said, like that's coming out in 2026. Like the tech is just being used fully in-house, and it's just being modeled out. But when that comes out in 2026, that'll be a whole nother piece. But yeah, I mean, the team just keeps growing, and we're excited about everything, and taking on like the clients we're onboarding right now aren't even public. Obviously, Sports Illustrated Predict and Galactic Markets and Time Magazine is fantastic. But we just continue to keep onboarding cooler and cooler guys.
Wow.
And the whole AI world, is this something
crazy?
Right. I just want to know your thoughts on this, because I mean, that's what creators, they create, and obviously
just say it. Is it going to take my job? Just say, is it going to take my job? Like,
is it going to make your like team smaller? Is like, because,
totally. It already has made my team smaller.
Okay.
Like the amount of BS tasks that like you would have to get. Like if you look at a traditional agency, like there's like 20 analysts, and there's like people that are doing this and people that are doing that. Like
now
essentially
AI.
What you need now is like very tuned into AI analysts that you can replace 10 people with one person that understands AI and can analyze and data scrape the internet. Right? So that's essentially what we do now. Our team, like, that's why I hire a lot more engineers than I do social media posters. Because engineers know what they're doing with AI, and if I say, hey, make me a report of what's doing the best on TikTok and what the trends are for the last 6 months, analysts can't really do that, but an AI engineer that can scrape it with ChatGPT can do it a lot more proficiently.
Makes so much sense.
Right? So that's what we're investing a lot of time, money, and attention on. But we literally have separate businesses armed just for the AI and technology piece. But what will go away is talent management as it is currently. That's going to be gone. People are not going to pay 20% for someone to check their email.
Correct.
Gemini can already do that.
Yeah.
Google AI can already do that.
Yep.
ChatGPT can already do that.
What are your thoughts on like a creator using like, is it what is it, Sora? Or
Sora 2?
Sora, like if we were
Sora 2 is great.
Like if we were to go make videos on Sora, like you're like somebody that watches creators, like are they actually like doing good as creating?
I know someone, there's a guy that I'm not close with, but it's like an acquaintance of mine named Eric Suarez. He has AI creators that have millions of followers. Right? He has like this one woman, I don't know if you've seen, like her name's like Bougie Grandma or something. She's in all pink.
Oh yeah.
And she's in like the Rolls Royce. She's like, hey kids, like, screw that. I'm just gonna go buy 10 more Birkins today or something. It's just like crazy stuff that could only happen in AI.
Yeah.
And it's like the Rolls Royce turns into a helicopter. And it's like she's like in her like neon pink Rolls Royce helicopter. And I'm like, I want one of those. But anyway, it's like, you see that, and they're getting brand deals for 5 figures.
Really?
I'm like, oh my God. Like,
and thank you for saying this, because I've been seeing like mixed like
It's
viewings.
the future.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone is gonna have. This is the middle ground. Okay?
Okay.
I don't like to think of things as black and white. I think of like this like fluidity of just everything, and like I try to look at everything as like a fluid graph of I think people are going to be more so in the middle than like a polarizing side. What happens is there's going to be Eli and Mike, which is you guys going out and doing interviews. Then there's going to be Eli and Mike AI, which you put like a .ai in your Instagram username. It's going to be AI versions of you guys that you're making on Sora 2 or wherever, which you'll still have an editor like a Joey that's making the content, but he'll be in Sora typing like, hey, we have the models of Eli and Mike. We want them to be shopping
so
at a store. They just got someone, instead of like going to Zara, they just went to Dolce & Gabbana and Gucci and bought the girl a Birkin and like did all this crazy stuff that like you wouldn't want to spend $3 million on an outfit. But in this, you could go to the Louvre and like buy like, you know, have like Egyptian pearls getting put on the girl. You could go to like, you know, the crazy, you could go to Richard Mille every video and give someone like a Richard Mille that has like the person's name engraved on it, right?
Actually insane.
You go to the Audemars Piguet store and buy out like, you know, 20 APs for someone in an AI video. So I think that'll be the next step. And then the step after that will be like your main page. Every other video you'll start having that be AI. Where it's like, hey, you know, Mike doesn't feel good today. So instead of filming, like I know one of you were sick, right? Like recently.
Yeah, sorry.
All good.
Yeah,
But my point is like on that day, we would have literally just like boomed you into the clips of the podcast where we just have, you know, camera on me, camera on you.
I see
and
that.
then
AI
when we
Mike.
wanted you in a video,
Don't
Mike
tell him
would
that
just,
he'll never be here.
I know,
He'll
right?
stay home all day.
Um,
He'll never be here.
Wow, that is a
That's the future for
crazy
sure.
way to look at it. Like
Yeah.
I'm just blown away because all I see online is like either 0 views because people know it's AI and nobody wants to watch it, or it's the little cat videos or the grandma, the pink grandma who have 30 million views on one video. So I just keep seeing like, do I do this? Do I not? Because it's either going to be 0 views or like 30 million views.
Yeah.
But the way you're explaining it, it's like
It's not a this or that.
Right.
It's a and. Right? Like my whole mindset's always and. Right? It's like people think like or a lot.
Yes.
It's like I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna buy a Ferrari or I'm gonna buy a Toyota. And I'm thinking like, hey, what if I have like a Ferrari and a Toyota?
Right.
Why can't I have both?
Right.
Right? I have like my daily, then I have like I'm a ball out.
Love this.
Right? It's the same thing with AI. So I think that's the future. A big thing is ad creative. A lot of companies are moving into AI ad creative. That is huge. Where instead of doing UGC with unknown creators, they're just like, hey, I'm paying this guy like $50 or a few $100 to do UGC, which is just like a creator with not a following, right? To talk about like, hey, this new Sephora lipstick. Now I can just get AI to do it.
True.
That's like the big like. It's already here.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I get AI ads every day.
I've seen. Me too.
I'm
I've
sure
seen
you
them.
guys
Oh,
get
we've
AI
seen
ads.
them all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean like
Insane.
every vertical is doing AI ads.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Sometimes he thinks they're real, and I'm like, Eli. That's
So I
it.
have another question for you. So I know, and we already created the record, by the way.
Hey,
So record made.
Longest podcast.
Longest podcast, but we're not
yeah.
done. One more
with
question.
the most information.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes, sir.
And I'll go through my
Actually,
doc as you
yes.
asked to
You
make
got it.
sure.
Love
So
it.
so
This
talking
is so
about
good.
ad spend.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys do ads?
okay, no. So question for you.
Two-part question now.
Okay.
No, we don't.
So we don't. But my question to you is, we've always been concerned, and I don't know if anybody is. Whenever you throw ads of any media that you put in social media, that it shows up as paid advertising, and it makes. Personally, I feel like I personally would scroll like, oh, I don't need to see this. They're paying for me to see it. Is that something you can block out, or does it have to say paid media? Or is it worth it, or does it matter on the views? Does it matter what it's supposed to get?
So different ways around. So TikTok is boosting. Boosting in a lot of senses looks a lot less like an ad than it would on like Instagram or Facebook. Instagram and Facebook, it's going to look like an ad, but it's the same thing as anything else. It's like how engaging is the first 3 seconds.
Okay.
If there's a really good ad, I will watch it. Probably more so because I'm a nerd and like I make ads and I do that stuff. But like it's how engaging the content is. You're just showing it to more people. Putting it out as an ad is like, hey, I'm gonna essentially instead of like organically getting 1 million more people to see it, I'm gonna pay for 1 million more people to see it. So I think ads are great. Like you know, especially in educational content, like I think it makes total sense. Like for your podcast clips, that's something you want to do. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like a lot of the business podcasts put out ads. Like
Oh, okay.
it's a great lead source to get people interested because you can push it
Got
out
it.
specifically to business people.
Oh, no kidding. To get them on their podcast. Or
To get them on your podcast, like you could do a booking ad. You could do something where it's just like an informational awareness ad where it's like show them a really cool clip. They're gonna be like, hey, I want to check out the long form of it.
Got it.
Another thing is you can link reels. So you can like link reels to each other now. I don't know if you've seen that, but you can like link reels. So it's like if you have multiple part series. You could be like, hey, this video, like this clip right now, Braden's on the podcast. Let's link that to the other clip of Braden. So if they really like this first clip, I can click on what it's linked to. And then the likelihood is, if they like the first clip, they're going to click on the next one.
Makes sense.
So it's like they're trying to build out almost like an Instagram.
That's on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
So they're trying to almost build out like an Instagram long form where it's like clip to clip to clip to clip, where then eventually it's going to be, I think you can put multiple reels together.
Eventually, it's the whole podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be, hey, do you want the part 2? Do you want the part 3? Do you want the part 4, right?
Nice.
So that's
cool.
definitely the future.
I have noticed that already, though.
Yeah.
I've noticed it somewhere, yeah. I just haven't done it.
You should do it, though.
We should do it,
Are you guys using polls?
No.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
we're gonna have to call you after this. But,
Oh, my God.
What is that, polls?
Okay. It's in my notes. In my notes. I came on this company. They brought me in. First thing I said was I went through their page. It's a sports company.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is, and this is not just like one specific one. This is multiple sports companies that I've come into. They'll show me their page, and I see that there's no question marks at the end of their posts, and I'm like, isn't your whole thing interactivity? Isn't your whole thing sports betting? Like, you want people to come into the conversation? And all their things were a statement, and it was like yelling at you, Luka Doncic, 5 layups. And I was like, who's going to engage with that? Like, what am I going to write? Like, that's so cool. Like, what am I going to say to that? Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, but if you write, like, is Luka Doncic better than LeBron? Then I'm writing in there, I'm like, no, Luka sucks. LeBron's so much better. Or, like, LeBron's so much better. Luka sucks. I go in there. I edit every single post. It's now a question. The engagement skyrockets. They're like, why did this happen? I'm like, I don't know, because now you're like pissing people off a little bit. You're saying like, hey, this player's so much better than your guy.
Wow, I love
or like
that.
my team's so much cooler than your team. So that's
always,
massive.
That's massive.
Next step to that is polls. So you can now add a poll on every single Instagram post where it's like,
which I
I'll put Luka's so much better than LeBron, and then I can put agree or disagree, or I can put Luka with a fire emoji versus like LeBron with like a double fire emoji.
And this is on the post.
Right on the post. On every reel, on every post I'm doing this.
We've never done that before.
I did it, so I put up a post a few weeks ago, which was reposting the career ladder post. I got almost like, I think 6,000 or 7,000 people engaged with if they thought could you have guessed my age or could you have not guessed my age? And I had like 6,000 or 7,000 individual engagements just clicking yes or no. And like some of them were like reality TV stars that are engaging with it. I had like, an NBA player in there, like crazy, because it's so fun. It's like, hey, it's a fun like guessing game. It's like, could you have guessed it, yes or no? They're going to engage with it. So do your polling. And then other thing I was going to say, quick scaling. If you're from 0 to like hero, you want to be a big content creator, the biggest meta right now is reposting and trial reels. So reposting, if you have 20 friends, like go in the group chat on Snapchat or text, wherever your group chat is, be like, hey, repost. Because if you and your friends, if you all have 200 followers each, and you have 10 friends, you've now taken your reach from 200 people to 2,000 people.
Got it.
So have each of your friends repost it. I'll do it. I'll be like, all my business entrepreneur friends, I'm like, hey, you better be reposting my stuff or I'm not going to repost yours.
Got it.
So it's almost like a,
okay, that makes sense.
Get them back. And the second thing is trial reels.
Okay.
Try out variations of hooks. So I was emphasizing the first 3 seconds.
Yes.
If you try out 10 different variations of the same video through trial reels, you'll see the one that'll organically do the best when shown to the most broad and not niche group of people.
Okay,
what trial reels does is it takes a business-minded person, then like a sports-minded person, then like a shopping-minded person, then like a whatever-minded person, traveling-minded person, and it shows them to the most random dissection of group of people, and it just sees who engages with what.
So you're saying that if you do a trial, you could post that 10 times on trial?
10 different times on trial, as many times
the
as you
first
want.
3 seconds.
Different first 3 seconds. You're holding a Coca-Cola can. Now you're holding a chalkboard. Then you're holding, a flower. Then you're saying this word. Then you're saying you're starting with the word and this. And then you're starting with the word this is the biggest reason why you can go viral.
Amazing.
So trial the trial is basically what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly, before we have you go, we actually like for you to talk directly to the camera, and you've
let's go.
given us so much gold nuggets. But if you could just tell like the audience, everyone who's watching, just like some advice on how they could be better, or whatever advice you want to give them to end the podcast.
Okay, guys, my big piece of advice here. This is my biggest trick to go viral on social media in 2025, going to 2026. It is very simple. I was just explaining it before. It is trial posting and trying variations of your hook. Your hook is your first 3 seconds of your Instagram reel, and that will literally determine virality or a video flopping. You want to make 5 to 10 variations of that hook and that video concept per video, and if you put that out, you're giving yourself the highest likelihood of creating a viral video, because you've now, instead of taking one shot at goal with that piece of content you've put out, you've now multiplied that by 10x, literally 10xing the probability of the video going viral. So if I had one piece of golden nugget, highest level of probability to success advice I could give you, it would be that. And then secondarily, what I'd say is age does not matter. right? I started this when I was literally 13 working. I'm now 18 and have, scaled my business to getting to work with global household known brands and working with, celebrities and rappers and so many cool people that I idolized as a kid. Like, I would literally pay money to go get like a record of theirs or to buy their song on iTunes or to get to like buy their merch. And now I get to do their brand deals or like, in some cases do their content and build out massive campaigns with them. So you can do it. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is right now. Get your phone out. It does not take a setup. Like, these guys have a really nice setup because they've worked their way up to that. But start on your phone. When I used to do content, I literally was on one phone was recording a voice memo, one phone was filming. You can do anything. The only way you can stop yourself is by overthinking it and by not doing it. So start action now and let's get it. I want to see you blow up and become a client of mine one day. Who knows? Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Dude,
Thank
thanks
you
so much for being on our podcast. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Guys, thank you for watching.
Thank you so
Watch the
much.
reels. The full podcast on YouTube will be released in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Let's
Thanks for
go.
being here, bro.
Thank you for having
Let's
me.
go.
Thank you
My
so
two
much.
favorite podcasters.
Hey,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye, guys.